Hi guys, welcome back to the shack. And tonight I want to do a little bit different video. I had a requested project from a friend of mine, and some of you may know her, Maymay over at Maymay Made It. And she had requested that I make her a door hanger similar to ones that I've made for other people. And you've probably seen some of them on my page, in some of the videos, or maybe on my website. But it's basically a 24-inch wheel of plywood that I've cut out, and I do some laser cutting and painting and creative staining and that type of thing. And then my wife comes in and Brandy takes and sets it up with these cute bows and all the vegetation and stuff that I don't do. And so Maymay said that she thought it would make a good video. So this video, I have tried to do it with a little bit of Maymay flair in the way that the video is pieced together. And so I hope you enjoy it. It's basically a step-by-step. I'm just going to do voiceover and show you guys how I go about it. Now, there's 1,000 ways to do this, guys, but this is how I did this one. And there was a really challenging part of Maymay's logo is she has these nostrils, okay, in her logo, and it's a joke around her place. Some of her people can sympathize with me. Those nostrils created headache in the build, and I had to modify the way I usually do it. But I've managed to come up with a way to do it and make it work out. And Maymay, you'll be happy to know that you do have nostrils on this door hanger. So guys, I hope you enjoy the video. I had fun making it and got Brandy out here at the shop and got her in the video. So here we go. Let's check it out. All right, guys, so we start off over at the longer. This is the B1 30 watt. And for those of you that aren't accustomed to my channel, it's a 30 watt diode laser. I did the cutout of Maymay, and this is it right here. Just took a little black Krylon and painted that thing up before I took it apart so that, and sprayed it with some polyurethane, of course. That way, I don't have to be delicate with the painting. Here, I'm just kind of taking, and I'm going to mask the material with some blue tape, and then I run out of blue, so I had to break out the green tape. But what I'm trying to do is just make me an area in the middle to where I can put the logo. I want that to have a white background because everybody knows Maymay's colors are black and white, and she kind of sticks with that. So masking everything off, trimming out my masking because it's just my OCD. It kicks in. Making sure that I measured everything correctly. And we're going to be going in here. This is actually Brandy's the reason that I have this white wash stain. This is the same stuff that I used on our living room tables that I built, all the end tables and coffee table and all that. It's a pretty good whitewash. You can back the video up, pause it if you want to see the brand. I don't even remember what it is, but did a couple of coats of the whitewash because I wanted to try to I wanted to be able to see the grain of the wood, but also I wanted it white. And went and let it dry for a little while outside in the sun and ripped the masking off. And now we have to reverse mask it because I need the wood to be dark. And I wanted to try to bring the blacks out in the wood so that we kind of match. And yeah, I know my tape job's not that great right there. So I'm just trimming the tape off because I do want to stain the back the same color. So I'm trying to trim the tape so that only the front section is going to be white to contrast with Maymay's logo. Here I decided to go with some chestnut stain, some really, really dark stain, to try to bring as much of the blacks out as I can. I mean, I want a little bit of brown because, guys, this is wood. But I'm going really thick, really heavy to try to bring those blacks out of this piece of, one-side sanded plywood. And after a couple of coats, I get a real nice dark color. It's not completely black, but it's got a lot of black contrast to it. So I figure, hey, let's move forward. Now I'm ripping the masking off to reveal the white. And of course, there was a little touch-up needed. Never get the perfect results with this tape. But so I had to go back and just wipe a few spots that had a little bit of brown on them that I didn't want and try to clean that up. I mean, this is handcrafted. We're not going for perfection, but I do want it to look neat. So now is to try to figure out exactly how I want it to orient and make sure that my image that I cut is the right size. And guys, to do this, because I've cut this out with the laser, I've painted it, so now I've got to basically transition it from inside the and that little piece right there, guys, that's for those nostrils. Because if I don't put a piece of tape there, I'm going to lose the nostrils in this operation. So I've got to basically flip that thing, break it out of the scrap material that is still attached to it. I've got to reverse it once, transition it onto the piece that I'm going to use to put it on the door hanger with. And then once I do that, then I've got to transition it from that piece back over to the door hanger. And I'm having to pick through here and remove all the scrap material because I use that woodworker's tape there to kind of hold those pieces exactly where they need to be, because I'm OCD and I want everything exactly the way that it's supposed to be on Maymay's logo. So here I am kind of picking those little pieces out, and there's some pieces that have to stay, some pieces that have to go. And like right there, you can see those nostrils, those things are tiny. And then there's these two little black pieces in her hair that's in that logo that I did not want to leave those out because I would hear about it. So I'm scoring the material. I'm just kind of breaking it away to make it a little easier to pull those pieces out. And I also, you notice a little stick right there. That's just a shish kebab stick. And I have found that those things work really great for trying to pry in there and get those little small pieces out. You can use them as like little wedges to force those pieces to come upward, because they do adhere to that carpenter's tape just a little bit there. And that can, that carpenter tape's pretty strong. So the object is to try to get those pieces out, but leave the pieces that I need. Now I blew it out with some air and everything looks good. Now I've just got to make sure I get this thing centered. And it's kind of awkward because her head is actually above the text. I decided to go with the text being centered and not concentrate on the top of her head. You could have done this either way, guys. My OCD just said the text needs to be in the center, so that's what I went with. So now I'm just trying to figure out what my spacing needs to be in order to get that space right. And you can see that this square, that puts it centered. I mean, that is going to be centered in the white area. So now I've just got to engineer a way to transition one more time and take this laser cut onto this board as effectively as possible while making sure that the nostrils make the trip, guys. So one more little test at alignment. I finally figured out how I can pull this off. I'm going to basically build a hinge using some green tape, and I'm going to test my hinge to make sure that I'm correct and just flip it over, make sure everything goes in the center. Once that happens, and I made sure that when I flip this thing over, the objects are going to be where I want them, then I'm going to apply some, this is basically just super glue, but I'm going to apply a really generous coat of super glue to this, and making sure to get all of the little bits. Yeah, those guys right there, guys. The nostrils, Maymay, as well as those two little tiny pieces up in the top of her hair. I've got to make sure I put glue on those because, like I said, I want the logo to be exact. Now, I'm going to cover that up because this is activator, and this is basically instant glue. Once I flip that over and that glue touches that activator, it sets. It's there. So I'm going to use my little shish kebab sticks now to kind of pry my top piece away and reveal the ending product. And that was real time, guys. That glue dries instantly. Once I flip that over and it touches, it's dry. So now I'm going to run over it with some Minwax. This is just fast drying spray on poly. And got that done, let it dry for a little while, brought it back in, putting the holes in there. These are going to be the holes for the little hanging piece of twine for the door, as well as there's a couple of holes up there for Brandy to use to do her part in applying the bows and miscellaneous decorative things that Clack does not do. So at this point, Brandy takes over the operation and she's making her bow. And ladies, I don't do both. She does. So that's why Brandy is in here. She is going to bunch all this stuff up into a bunch and use a zip tie, and then she's going to trim the ends, all that stuff. And she comes up with a bow. And yes, it's Maymay's colors. It's what I think they call it, the buffalo check. And so she gets it trimmed up and makes sure it's the right length and everything's the way she wants it. And then adds a little burlap in there, and you got vegetation. And it all comes together. So Maymay, I hope you enjoy this, and you can feel free to swap out the decorations, or this thing can be used for summer, spring, Christmas, St. Patty's Day, whatever. The background stays the same. Just change your bow, change your decorations, and you're ready for any occasion. So that's how it came to life, guys. Maymay said that you guys might want to see it, and there it is right there. So I hope that was enough Maymay fashion for you. You got to see the hands a lot, and I know a lot of Maymay's people said they need to see more hands because they're used to seeing hands all the time in the video. Well, guess what, guys? You got it today. It was a fun little project. Anytime I can collaborate with Maymay, that's a great thing. And speaking of which, she told me, and I got this from her, that she will be at the meet and greet September the 9th with us up at Pedals from the Past. I plan on being there, Lord willing. And Maymay says she's going to be there also. So, guys, if you watch this video and you're from my side of the house, make sure you go by Maymay's tent, set up, stand, whatever she's got going on up there. And just let's just clack attack her that day. There'll also be a lot of other creators from my area, makers and creators alone, whatever the case may be. So check out the channel and look for that event September the 9th at Pedals from the Past. It'll be in Jemison, Alabama. There's going to be a lot of really cool people there that have, Facebooks, whether it be farming or like Maymay does with the crafting, what we do here at the Clack Shack, and several other channels will be there. So go check out the event on my Facebook page, and if you haven't already, go ahead and register for that thing. Let us know you're coming, and if you do make it, we'll see you there. But for all you Maymay made it, I hope you liked the video, and go tell her it's a clack attack. How about that? Just go to Maymay's channel and clack attack her and tell her y'all love the door hanger and whatever. Just blow up her notifications, guys. But thanks, and hope you enjoyed the video. Have a good day.